Prepare to attack the enemy's control points.
Get behind me, Doctor!
I am fully charged!
You are listening to Control Point, a Team Fortress 2 podcast with Brent Copeland, Eric Fullerton, Wes Wilson, and Spencer Williams.
Control Point, episode 17, recorded on February 10th, 2008.
I'm Brent Copeland.
I'm Eric Fullerton.
I'm Wes Wilson.
My name is Spencer Williams, and I'm actually not here today.
God, I can't believe he didn't show. I mean,
Yeah.
what is it? It's only like 8 hours.
Quit talking, Wes.
What?
That's
I'm being
Spencer's
Spencer
line.
for.
Oh. I was about to go, why didn't you say Mike's down?
Nice. Yeah, apparently Spencer Williams is not here. He's hanging out on a beach somewhere in South Carolina.
I know, God.
While we're freezing here in...
And you wanna
well,
eat-
no, I guess it's cold up there, huh? He's more north than me.
Yeah. You want to hear the bad news?
What's the bad news?
He's got the briefcase.
That's right.
We don't have a briefcase to open.
Well, maybe someone should call him and find out what's in the briefcase.
Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 boop.
Hello?
Hey, Spencer.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I just got off on the beach. I got a nice tan.
Quit talking, Wes.
Does he really sound like that?
My name is Spencer, and I'm a big jerk. And I'm mean to Wes. Me.
God, it's good that you finally admitted that on the air, Spencer. I'm very proud of you, and, admission is the first step towards getting help.
How about if I just FedEx this briefcase over to you? 1 hour service, is that good?
That'd be great. Press pause. Ding dong! Hey,
Whoa.
the briefcase is here. That's
Yeah.
it's
a knock and it's a...
Wow, they must
ding-dong.
really want to bring us the briefcase.
All right, let me go get it. Trudge through the house, walk, open the door, grab the briefcase, come back. Woo, I'm back. I got the briefcase.
That's super.
Ready for this thing to be opened?
Oh,
Yes.
oh, I thought you were going to say over. I was going to say yes. I am ready. And so is Spencer. He's keeling over in South Carolina right now.
Okay, I'm breaking this thing open. Inside the briefcase this week. First off, we've got some Steam Community mile markers that we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about an Orange Box creator interview. And this week, our reconnaissance is on Hydro.
Yay!
Yay for Hydro.
Hydro, the most unappreciated Valve map around. Except for CTF Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which no one seems to like.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Do you like it?
I like CTF well.
You're a weirdo.
I am.
That really, you need professional help, just like Spencer.
It's so great. He can't
Quit talking, Wes!
We don't have you on the phone anymore. Go away.
Oh, sorry, click.
You sounded like the King of the Moon. You ever seen that? We will. Never mind. I'm talking out loud. Okay, so Brent, you want to talk about your week?
Sure, I would love to talk about my week.
That's great.
Apparently, I don't remember putting this in my week, but someone else must have because they heard what happened. But we had a guy on our server. Now, it was Mario Kart, so things just kind of go wacky when Mario Kart's around. And we've removed that from the rotation because it never stops. Like, I logged in because I got some messages about some guy doing something, and the top player had like 250 kills.
Yikes.
And it's like, oh, that map's been on too long. And everybody's like crying, rock the vote, screaming, but for some reason not enough people are hitting rock the vote. Anyway, so there's some guy with no name, and I get a message that says, hey, this guy's speed hacking. I'm like, oh, come on. You're just imagining things, how I kind of play off when people think people are hacking is lag or this or that.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever. So I went and spectated him. And boy, this guy was doing something because he
Really?
was, yeah. And I called Eric over because I was over here, and he'd be standing there and he'd be like, zip, 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 zip.
Yeah, I
zip.
saw
And then
it
he'd
too.
like fight someone and kind of be normal. And then we got done fighting, he'd go zip, almost like he didn't want to get caught so much.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Doesn't VAC catch stuff like that?
You would think so, but I guess there's something they didn't catch, so you can come to our server and try it out and get banned.
You sure some admin didn't turn on no clip or something? Like, are you sure you didn't make it?
Yeah, this was
Wow.
very obvious. And so I went on his team and I was like, hey, guy with no name. You know, that was kind of the first clue. You know, he doesn't have a name.
Yeah, it's just blank.
So he thinks he's safe, I guess. And I was like, so you want to tell me what's, or I guess first I said, hey, can you hear me? And he said something stupid in the mic. And so I was like, okay, you can hear me. So I was like, so you want to tell me how you're moving around so fast? And like dead silence, you know, nothing.
He didn't say anything.
And so I'm like, are you sure you don't want to tell me what's going on? You sure? So I go off into one of the areas that no one can get to and just teleport him over there. And he immediately starts building a sentry gun for some reason. And, and I'm like, so do you want to tell me why you're speed hacking on the server, or, you know, how you're doing that or whatever? And, you know, he won't talk to me. And I'm like, look, if you're not going to discuss this with me, then I'm going to have to ban you from the server.
You're like a CP police.
And, you know, at this point, he just starts coming over and whacking me with his wrench and stuff. And I'm like, no, really, if you don't, you know, if we don't come to a common agreement here, you're going to leave. And you just need to let me know if you want it, you know, a week or if you want it forever. You know? Still nothing. Oh, actually, at this point, he started putting his spray up on the wall, which was one of these wiggly things.
Was it Tub Girl or something?
No, it was.
I don't even know what it was, but it was very obscene.
It was very obscene.
It wiggled in very bad ways.
Yeah, in a couple different places, too. It was
Awesome.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I guess that's enough. And so at that point, he said goodbye to the server for a while.
Yeah.
Banned.
So, you know, there's no reason for that.
Well, you know, unless, you know, you hate Brent and you want him with a wrench.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. Hit me with a wrench all you want. There's engineers that do it all the time and kill me. And I enjoy it.
Well, that's a fascinating little adventure.
Yeah, it wasn't really. But we expanded the map rotation.
Woohoo!
And apparently we got a lot of deathmatch things in there. I think they're playing CP Falling right now. It didn't look like they were doing it for too long. So
Can't believe we got Falling in rotation.
So I just removed all the deathmatch type files from there. So if we get any other that stick, let me know and we'll remove it. We had another fun, we had clan practice Monday, and then we had scrim with Deg's team, the Aperture Science Janitorial Services, I believe is their name.
That's an awesome name.
On Wednesday, and they stuck it to us pretty well. They're really good.
Well, you know, that's that Deg guy.
Well, he wasn't even there. He had a flat tire. Couldn't make it.
Really?
Yeah, no one knew what was going on with him, I guess.
Are you sure he wasn't there? Did he? Maybe you banned him? You know,
Possibly. He does have that spray with the wiggly things. No, I think Mint was leading, and he did a good job. I think, yeah.
Mint's scary.
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 Scary as in
good.
monster?
As in good.
I was like, what happened? There's a wiggly spray thing. And speaking of practice stuff, we changed the practice server so that it would work better, because when we were doing our scrims, you'd sit there and you'd be trying to talk and the map would change, you know, and it was just not conducive to talking. So we basically put something on there where when the two teams are ready, someone from each team just types ready in chat and it will start the match at that point.
Oh, wow.
So that'll help out, I think, a lot with that.
Sweet.
And that's about it for my week. It's been, you know, we just did the other podcast like yesterday, so feels like
the other
no time.
podcast.
Yeah, well, you know, it was last week sometime, but feels like it was yesterday.
I don't know. I feel like we had a good week this time. I had some time.
Yeah.
I was sick though. I had the pink eye.
The pink eye.
You know,
Yes,
I've been
and
like,
that has an E before the H on that. It's the pink eye. All in caps.
Pink eye is spelled in elite fashion, right?
Yes, and it's AYE.
Aye.
The pink eye.
with a 3 in there randomly.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Wait, what were you talking about?
I was just saying, I think my week just felt short because there was a lot of stuff going on with the servers this week, and I've been busy dealing with that. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
What about you, Wes?
Oh, do you want me to go next, or do you want to go next?
I'll go next. Mine's pretty short.
Okay.
I spent a while. Oh, okay. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. We are working on a video episode, the first video episode ever to be released. And you'll just have to wait and see what it's about, because I'm not going to say. I don't want to ruin it, but it's going very well. It's very funny, very cool. You'll finally get to see what's going on here. with your eyes and not your ears.
They're going to be so disillusioned.
Yeah.
They probably think that we have some like really cool, pretty room with all these microphones in it.
Yeah, there's kind of you'll see us in this room here talking on the mics, and so that's very exciting. I've been working on that for a long time. Well, I mean, just this week. So I haven't really played a lot of TF2, but when I did, I played on server 1. And that was when, Brent, you were talking about Mario Kart, and I jumped in on that game, saw the dude was speed hacking. He would basically run up to me real quick, hit me with a wrench, and then run away. So I'm like, what hit me? I look away, and I see an NG way off in the distance. I'm like, nah, it wasn't that guy. And then, boom, right in the back of my head. I turn around, see an NG way off in the horizon. I'm like, well, this is freaky. Is this a dream or is this reality?
You should call in AM Coast to Coast and relate your story.
Yeah. So what?
You should call AM Coast to Coast and relate your story to them.
Bell would love that sort of thing.
Coast to Coast AM.
Whatever.
What'd you say? PM?
No, he said put the AM first. I was freaking people out the other day. I was going to the Skybox on Convoy.
Oh yeah.
And I was a heavy, and I got in the Skybox, and I had my thing spinning. People were like, "Where's that giant heavy? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!" Yeah, it was a lot of fun freaking people out that way.
Big dangerous giant.
Yeah, that was on the fun server. Oh,
Nice.
I'm interrupting your week. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess that was about it. Really, working on this episode. You'll be happily surprised when you see it. There's not really a date. I'm not going to say exactly when it's coming out because honestly, I don't know. It won't replace the audio podcast, which we put out weekly on Wednesdays. It will just randomly come up. So go to our website and keep hitting refresh over and over. And
yes.
Or maybe not do that.
Or I got it better, and I just keep sending nailhead messages asking when it's going to be ready.
That is a great idea. I support what you're doing here, Brent, and I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter.
Whoops, I accidentally logged off of Steam.
I'd like to believe that Spencer would subscribe to that, too.
I think he would, too. I think he'd have something.
Sure would. And I'm Spencer, by the way. And I talk like this.
Click.
Click.
Wow.
So let's see. Was there anything else in my notes? Oh yeah. I noticed this is an obvious observation here, but usually I'm working on something, and usually the first time I get a real good chance to play TF2 is like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something. I'll play for a little bit and then I'll stop at like 4 a.m. But I noticed that people's communication drops drastically the later it gets. So it gets quieter and quieter and quieter. And every time I log in, I'm like, I want chat. I want people talking. I want to have fun and joke around and stuff. And it's just dead silence, and usually I'll get the typical, hey, Nailhead, hey, what's up? Or, hey, Eric,
Yeah.
and just nothing. And so I don't know why I'm even talking about this. This is an obvious thing, but
I noticed it too. I hijacked the server last night to make them play Hydro, and it was about 12:30 at night, our time. So even the East Coast people were even worse off.
Oh yeah,
and it was really funny because people are like, I mean, first off, the whining and complaining begins to get exponentially worse. I hate this map. Why? Somebody please, just let them win, please.
Yeah.
And no, really, they were doing that. As it gets, and then people are like, I'm just running on autopilot. And then at about 2 a.m. our time, all of a sudden, like all the people who actually need to go to bed get off, and then it's really quiet, and there'll be a few people that'll say some stuff, but it's much more sedate.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I played on server 1 this week, and it's been a long time since I played on the first server. Usually I'm on 4, and that's only because I recognize a lot more people on 4. At the time that I'm playing. I'm not saying that only CP people play on 4, but when I was on 1, there was just no one I recognized at all. I was like, wow, this is a ghost town, and no one's talking. So
one got on a lot of people's probably favorites lists and a lot of recently played lists, and so there's a lot of people coming to it because they've gone there before or because they've listed it as a favorite. 4 still has a little bit of anonymity to it.
Yeah. There's still people that come up on 1. In fact, there was one person that came on 1 and was like, what is this podcast about? I keep seeing this podcast thing pop up. And then a bunch of people that didn't even have CP tags we're just like, oh, it's a podcast about, they talk about stuff and you can learn tips and they're real funny hosts and da 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 da. And so I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, there's CP people out there, not necessarily with the CP tag, although I always just assume that they're not listeners if they don't have the tag, which isn't true. But,
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So, and that, I guess, kind of raises a point. A lot of people are asking, how do I get the CP tag? Do I need to, fill out an application, send some money, or what do I need to do? And it's basically just like, if you have the CP tag, then everybody else in the community will see it and realize that you listen to the show and that you are possibly on the forums and that you are a regular, and they will see your face again. And that's basically all the tag. That's what it means.
Right.
So.
Some people were asking this week what the extra stuff on people's CP tags were. Like, you'll see CP YAR, you'll see CP question mark. What we did was, and I was explaining this last night on the server, the managerial aspect of handling a clan was too much for the number of people that we had. So we divvied out the ability to make squads within our CP clan to individuals. And if people are members of some of the sub squads, they will change, like YAR is Nico's group. What's the question mark?
Head
Buddies group. So if you see a CP tag with some little bit of extra stuff on there, that's what it is. It's a squad for clan matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got, we're running HL Stats X on a lot of servers now, a lot of our servers.
I noticed that.
And this is a lot of stats information. And there's actually a page for clan rankings. And it's kind of cool because you see the CP, dash question mark and the CP. And it supposedly, each of those clans, question mark and YAR, have 10 members that have played on our server. And CP has 70. So if, that's 90 people that have a variable CP tag on our server, which is...
That's cool. I guess the last thing on my list is last week I played our clan practice with Ubered Alliance with leader Rasputin, and it was pretty unique. We spent our time in Gravel Pit, walking around, kind of like... Well, it was kind of like a tour of the map, and Rasputin was the guide, and he walked us around, and we all stopped in a big circle while he spoke, and we just, all looked at him, standing in a, like a campfire, just hanging out, and it was pretty neat. Did you
have buddies? Did you have to hold hands so that you didn't lose each other?
Always walk in pairs. Anyway, it was neat because he could, we could discuss good places for sentries, and he would stand there and say, okay, right here is a good place for a sentry, and here's why. And people could talk, and it's much better than, listening to a podcast. I mean, honestly, because you're there, and it's just, it's blatantly obvious what you're talking about. So, and then after that, we broke out and started applying some of the techniques that we just talked about. We split the team into two and just started playing the map.
Next time you do that, record it.
It's recorded every single time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I think now, as that, can you follow individual players?
Yes. Yeah, it's just like spectating in game when you load it up.
See, I think that would be really awesome if we were to take that information and put it together for a little YouTube podcast or something like that.
Now, the only issue we're having right now is there's some clans that are using Ventrilo as their voice in game completely.
Right.
Like our group pretty much uses it when we're dead. Like besides that, we're still kind of using the in-game chat, but when you're dead, you can use that and still communicate. But if you're using that audio does not get recorded to the server.
There has to be a way to change the audio so that even dead, your team can hear you.
Yeah, it's all talk.
Yeah, but there has to be a way to have separated all talk. They have to have thought of this.
Yeah, I think there's actually a setting in there for like all talk 3 or something, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a good point.
Can you put this on your long list of things to do, Brent?
Oh, God. Sudden death. All talk. Remove CP falling. Yes, we just saw y'all playing that.
Also, that's really the end of my week. I have a question to all the listeners. My question is basically we're trying to mess around with the model viewer to kick out this machinima that we've been working on, And if someone could please tell us how to change the background in the model viewer from black to any other color, that would be really great. Okay.
Haven't we asked that like a few times?
We did, but we got no responses. Maybe we have more listeners now that I can ask that question.
We do have more listeners. We have statistical data that backs that up.
That's true. And thanks to everyone who fills out that survey on the front page.
And if you're listening on our main page, we have a listener survey. We would really appreciate you filling it out. We're getting a lot of feedback from it, and that feedback is positive.
Yes, and the PodTrack who takes that survey basically says we need another 100 to basically that's more accurate data.
Oh, really?
If we get 100 more surveys, we'll be set.
Okay,
there.
cool.
Sorry, I was looking at these numbers on the CT or the HL stats. It lists like all the different things you can get, like who has the most kills and whatever. And man, Sigma Sin has like half of these. So I don't know if I want to play against him.
Well, that's probably time oriented.
Yeah.
No, this is daily awards actually.
Oh, really?
Every day this will change.
Oh, wow.
From the previous day, every 24 hours.
Cool. How do you pull up the stats on that?
You go to controlpoint.hlstatsx.com.
Okay, that's excellent information.
I'm sure we'll put a link somewhere.
Yeah, let's link that. That's a good idea. Man.
Linky.
Okay, so I guess it's time for my week.
Yeah.
First off, I appreciate everyone for letting me hijack the server and change it to Hydro.
Hydrojack?
Yes, I did. I'm like, I logged on today and people were playing Duel 3 and they were really, really happy with it for some strange, odd reason I will never understand. And I'm like, hey guys, are you ready for me to change the map to Hydro? And they're like, no! I'm like, well, it's getting changed anyway. What can I do to make your stay enjoyable before this plane takes off and we go to Hydro? And they're like, no gravity. So then I'm turning off the no gravity. I'm turning no gravity, playing Duel 3. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Oh, weird.
Big giant blimps
cool.
of doom flying around, Quick question. How do I change the servers in gravity period? I've been doing it individually.
Oh, for everybody?
Yeah.
It's a command line.
What is it? I've been trying. It doesn't work.
Wait till after the show and I'll explain it to you.
The one thing that I did do today, we're playing, you know how you get those moments that are just, you're like, wow, that was really cool. We were playing Hydro today and me and a pyro and a demo, I'm playing a medic, had snuck through the air vents into that little dead end area on the blue cap point in Hydro. And we're over there by ourselves and I've got an Uber, built up and we use it and we look like we destroy some stuff, but there's still some people coming at us. So we're kind of backing up and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And then the pyro dies and the demo kills like 3 more people. And then all that's left is a heavy and a soldier coming at me and everybody's dead but me. And I back around the corner into a tiny little dead end, and then I get right up on the edge, and I pulled out my bone saw. Nice. And the heavy, I knew had gotten beaten up by everybody before me, so he's spinning up, and he just comes walking around the corner, and then before he can see me, I just go whack, and I bone sawed him. And I'm like, yes! And then I got killed by the soldier, but that's not the point. The point is I bone sawed a heavy, and it was glorious.
Nice.
Gave him a little medical certification.
Yes. I noticed some weird stuff. We played, I made a couple of groups play Hydro this week and there's no sudden death and we're going to fix that. But I've got to tell you, on the whole, playing Hydro with no sudden death sucks.
Aww.
No, really. 'Cause there's so many stalemates that you end up like, and with a stalemate, you kind of stay in that same lame situation. And we would play for like 30 or 45 minutes on Hydro and one team would score 1 point. And it was like, wow, this really, really sucks. So we need to fix that. Yeah. And also I have a lot of people still asking me, and like I said, I hijacked the server and I wanted to make them happy by giving them low grav so that they would be happy going to Hydro, which I knew they really didn't want to do. But on the whole, people should probably, we want to keep server 1 to be a legitimate play server. So a whole lot of people asking for low gravity on the regular server is kind of silly.
So, you know what they should do?
Go to server 5.
Server 5 that Time Squared of
Yes.
jackofallblades.com. Last
Yes.
time I forgot the all part.
Oh.
But jackofallblades.com, and he does another comic, Industrial Revolutionary, I believe.
Yes.
Has graciously donated that server. We're trying to get it working flawlessly for everyone, and it's got all that madness over there already.
I went and played a great new map on there. I had never seen it before. Have you played CPU Royal?
No.
No.
Okay. The basic idea is you're playing in big House of Card castles.
Oh,
the red
cool.
base is red cards, the blue base is blue cards, and and it's all on a desk. So like if you look out the back of the red base, you can see you're on a desk and there's like a chair sitting there.
Oh, nice.
You know? And it's actually kind of a fun little map. Now it's not very balanced. I mean, there's some issues with it, but at the same time, it's got a nice little feel. And like you go to the crenellations on, and it looks like all the cards are cut, you know, and but the whole place looks like a house of cards.
Wow.
So it was fun.
It was
on
was
the
a lot
fun
of-
server.
I
Awesome.
know, and people were like, "Low gravity." I'm like, "What are you talking about? We don't need low gravity. We got this cool map." Also, we've had a lot of the Googers coming over from Gamers with Jobs. They've been getting done with their play over on Stan's Lounge and dropping by. And I really appreciate them coming by. I think they're a rather mature and sane group of gamers. And I love their podcast. I gave them, when I listen to their stuff, I'm like, this is what I hope we sound like.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But they're very, very talented, and I love that their forum members are coming over and playing on our servers.
Yeah, I picked up
that's
that podcast after you were talking about it. It was a good podcast.
did too.
And I bet if you set a time with them for them to come over and play with you, that they would probably do it.
Well, that's just it. I told you earlier that they want to do a clan thing with us. I just have been too lazy to actually set it up.
That was a little segue for you I was throwing to you.
Yeah. We actually talked about it in their Team Fortress Night thread. They're like, we should set up a clan match. I'm like,
Grim.
No. I mean, setting a time with someone and them actually showing up to play.
yeah. So you remember a couple of weeks ago, I complained about Sir Schmoopy of Awesometon, saying, like never playing with us anymore and setting at a time and standing me up. Well, come to find out, I listened to his latest podcast and he says I never talked to him about a time.
He said, to Blaze.
Yes.
And you said,
This is like podcast ping pong.
It is.
It's in your court right now.
And I actually, I was playing with some Legendary Heroes people, and we were playing Team Fortress 2, and I mentioned that he had stood me up, and they go, no, you never gave him a time. And you know what? Rob is a big fat liar.
oh,
I did give him a time.
he just pulled that gauntlet off.
He agreed to it. We were supposed to meet there.
And then he got scared.
And he must have.
Scared.
He just chickened out and decided that he didn't want to.
I find it funny that all of his fans are defending him after he called them, worthless TF2 players.
Yeah, he said they were no good.
Easy
and they were
kills.
easy to farm for points. And then they're like, well, he said you never talked to him about the time. I even tried to make it all funny and stuff, and he just sort of blew it off, I posted on his forums about it, and he never replied to it. I don't think he reads his own forums. I don't think he reads his forums.
Sounds like Majachi is charging up his excuses.
Anyway, I guess we'll find out if he still listens to our podcast this week.
He's going to hacksaw our site.
And one more thing. We had one error last week, and you'll hear it later. But we said somebody who called was Loopy LaRue.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not. It's Lumpy LaRue, which is still an awesome name.
Yeah, Lumpy LaRue. And he called in last week, and it was unusable for whatever reason. It got cut off. So he called in again, and we'll put that at the end of the podcast.
Okay. Well, I think that ends our week.
Oh, what about Spencer's week? We skipped him.
I was a big jerk.
I didn't get much time playing. I was too busy moving and playing Pirates of the Burning Sea.
Because I like my boat and all the handsome men on it. Send me money. I need new shoes.
I think I saw Mujachi the Moon Princess on my boat. He's sexy.
And
He's smexy.
Wesley bought me a headset and I left it at Eric's house, so I couldn't even join the podcast on Skype because I am stupid.
Wow, that sounds like an exciting week, Spencer.
Click.
Dial tone. Okay.
He's going to be energized next week from this. He's going to be particularly vitriolic.
He's going to grief our servers. All right, so now we're on to On the Loudspeaker.
On the loudspeaker!
There you go. There's your segments.
Okay, you want to talk about this first bit, Eric?
Oh, yeah, the CP community reaches 700. Oh, my mama.
It's over 700!
Very large number. A lot of people there. Very cool people.
Do you remember when we made 100 and we were very proud?
We were like noobs.
I remember
back
making
then.
like 10 or 15 and being, that's so cool.
I know. Look
Oh
at
my
all
God!
these
Look,
people.
someone joined our little community.
Yeah.
Oh wait, another one joined. Neat. We got 2.
And just to put this in perspective, also this week, Steam as an entity has 15 million accounts now.
Yikes! Well, that's good to know that number. I've
So we
always
got
wondered.
some growth.
Yeah. So we can get 15 million. We have like what, less than 1 millionth of a percent, I think.
I wonder if there's a limit on the size of the groups.
I don't know, but I have
seen-
trouble listing all the people. Like when you pull up your friends list.
Yeah.
The list is too big for CP members. You can't.
I noticed that you can't even.
You got to go to a
expand
page.
it.
I tried to add someone to my friends list the other day and it said that it was full.
Me too.
I didn't realize that was
Really?
possible.
Me too. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, because I was actually trying to add someone who I wanted on there.
I wish you could organize your friends lists on Steam.
Me too.
I wish you could get, because I mean, I want to have a lot of the CP members as friends so that, I can look at the list and say, oh, hey, yeah. And plus we can get achievements for it. I can help other people get achievements. But at the same time, there are times when I'd like to know, hey, which of my real life friends is on,
Right.
and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard. And then also with the friendship limits, like I had a friend who bought the game the other day and I went to add her and it didn't work. And I'm like, oh, hey.
And I think a lot of people may be having issues like that. And the best thing I think we found to do is to start a community, start a group, and just have like, it's your real life friends group, have them all join that. And then you can look on your friends list and there's actually, if it's a small enough, you can just click on it and see them.
Yeah.
It doesn't work the same, but it's better than nothing.
One buggy thing about this friend adding thing. I had a friend, I told her my Steam ID and she tried to add me and I was maxed out on friends and she got an error. So I don't even think if you're maxed out on friends, other people can't add you. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
I think
That is weird.
that's just a supposition. I don't have any hard facts backing that up.
Well,
So what's this next little bit? I see a couple of names down here.
There's I kind of already said it, but Brute Dog and John Maz and Time Squared and a few other folks that we don't have the names for, but we will get them. We're all donators for the past month, and we are glad to say that are happy to say that Spencer, even though we can't talk on it yet because it's still on the way there, does have his podcast equipment heading that direction.
Woohoo!
So we'll be sending out buttons, which we have ordered as soon as they get to us.
big old thanks. That's so cool that the listeners of CP are paying for the continuation, basically, of this podcast. I mean,
Yeah.
you're basically letting us include Spencer in the rest of these podcasts, or else it would just be us three losers.
Yeah, and it's still helping us sound better too because there's a little extra in there that we'll probably get some pop filters for our mics. that
Oh,
don't have
exactly.
them,
We still have
like
little
this
upgrades.
one that pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took Brent's pop screen because I was tired of not having it. I didn't have it week after week. So
Yeah.
for the last 3 weeks, I've had this and I'm just not giving it back. So
That's okay.
And we want you to know that we appreciate, this isn't like, oh, hey, I got $20 I can stick in my pocket. Every penny that has been donated has gone back into our podcast
Exactly.
and to our servers.
Yeah.
This is not a, hey, we're trying to get rich thing. This is a, hey, we'd like to pay for the things that we're doing
And
and
just
make
make
sure
it-
that it's high quality.
Yeah, and the fact that we're getting so many contributions, either money wise or just calling in for tips or emails or just forum posts in general, helps us know that there's so many people that are interested in what we're doing that is the big reason why we're now doing some video episodes, and we have some other surprises which I don't want to say yet because they are indeed surprises. other projects that we're working on that are CP related. I mean, so we're really going to pump out some cool stuff.
And we're buying new hardware all the time. We got a compression.
Yeah, we have a compressor limiter gate. It's a Alesis rack mount box. Very cool stuff. I mean, so our studio is slowly upgrading here. So.
Yeah, we got a bunch of mice here.
Mice for dinner.
That's still from Razer. Which, you know, I'm not going to do a full-blown review, but I would like to say that I have been using this mouse now for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I've got to say I like it a lot. The only issues I've had at all with it were it going to sleep. And that's just that I'm used to at work having my screensaver pop up if I'm gone 15 minutes. So you got to shake the mouse. And that's all you have to do. And it's worked fine. I haven't had any problems like that Spencer had in his. So.
And Brent is talking about the Razer ProClick Mobile.
It's smart, sleek, and smexy.
And that's good because it just got brought back, I hear.
Yes.
It did? I brought it back.
Eric brought it back.
Okay.
No, I brought it back. Click.
I did see there was a creator interview for the Orange Box that got published.
Oh, neat.
And it's about a 6-page interview with various people involved in the creation of the Orange Box. There were a couple of things that I thought were kind of interesting. Gabe Newell said that a lot of people have talked about what kind of other media they would, for instance, Half-Life books, Half-Life movies,
Half-Life podcasts.
Yeah. Something like that. So, and one of the things that he mentioned is he said that he's talked to people about a Half-Life movie, but the one thing that they've never understood is that they would want it to be better than some random piece of summer special effects trash.
So don't have you boil whatever.
God, oh my God! I tried watching Blood Rain. Have you ever watched that movie?
Oh no.
I've got to say, there are very few movies I will stop watching because they are so bad.
Limbo.
But Blood Rain was terrible. Huh. And then the other day,
looks good though. Hitman?
I haven't seen it. But I did. And then the other day I'm watching some show on like Stars or Cinemax or something. It was all about vampires in the movies. Mm-hmm. And they had, they were talking about like From Dusk Till Dawn and, Bram Stoker's Dracula and Nosferatu and all, and the way that these movies, tie into the human condition. And one of the movies that they used was Blood Rain. They had the actress on it and everything. And I'm like, what are you crazy people doing? That is a terrible film. There is nothing redeeming about it. And you have brought this man on to talk about the human condition? It was very infuriating.
So we hope it's better than that.
Shut up, Spencer. But anyway, what Gabe Newell said was that they've got that they don't understand why they would want people to produce something of higher quality, with a better story and things like that, because, you've already got a captive audience in Half-Life players. They'll come to the movie. So you don't necessarily just want to pop out something with a bunch of special effects. You want something with a superior story. So you want to put, that investment in existing audience should translate to investment in pre-production, script and things like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of an interesting point.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dead Workers Party could always make their movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Valve's listening, just go to deadworkers.com and you'll see our resume. We've got a red.
We've got a red.
Yeah, we have a red camera. We're a full production turnkey solution. If this is a union shoot, then sorry, we can't help you. But if this is independent, then keep us in mind. Okay.
Unions.
End of commercial.
The second thing that I really caught was I noticed that the interviewers asked, at one point you plan to sync players' voice over IP input to the characters' faces. Mm-hmm. And at one point in time in the TF2 development, yes, they talked about having facial states of the characters reflect what was going on over the voice over IP, or even their health status, like make them look more haggard and sad when they were beat up and smiley when they were at full health.
That's cool.
And I thought that was really awesome.
Because, I mean, that some people do that. Like the Heavy gets more grimacing and more bloody, and he starts laughing, the more you kill. So that would make sense. That would be pretty cool.
But there's some other interesting points there, and I really do. We'll link the article, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
Neato.
And what's this bunch of media?
There's a link to a bunch of media that we'll put on our site, especially a thread on the
He's so good at introducing these
Steam
things.
community forum, Steam-powered forums, and someone's gone in and basically found a bunch of machinima, a bunch of this, a bunch of that, a bunch of podcasts.
Oh, yeah. I saw
did
that.
see. Okay.
And they've stickied it to the top of the forum, and it's a lot of good stuff. So I just
And it's got our
putting that in
podcast
there.
listed in it, which is probably why we're mentioning it.
Yes, it's definitely one of the reasons.
It looks like a compilation of months and months of searching the entire web for good TF2 stuff. So
And when we search the web, we go for ubercharge.net.
We do.
one-stop shop for your satirical outlook on TF2.
Which, by the way, there's some funny new stuff out there. I don't think we're going to talk about it, but you need to go to ubercharge.net because he's a crazy man. Crazy.
Crazy? Insane?
I'm
Mad
crazy. Crazy for loving TF2. Wow, that was really off key.
Yeah.
Did you guys plan that? Click.
Nice.
Sorry. Next.
Okay, so we ready to move on?
Reconnaissance!
Wow, I'm glad we got that compression thing over there.
Oh, no kidding. That clipped.
And our
Reconnaissance.
is Hydro. Dun, dun, dun. For those of you who don't know, Hydro is the territorial control map. This works under a different method than the other maps. You've seen Capture the Flag, which is where you go and get the intelligence and bring it back to your base. You've seen Control Point, which is I have to capture control points. You've seen the attack and defend kind of stuff where, I'm defending and you're trying to get in. Well, the territory control map basically, and most people don't know how Hydro works.
And I think that's why a lot of people don't like it.
Yes. And I complained about the fact that I never know which map I'm in, and some research has figured out why we don't know. So basically the way territorial control works is there are various control points that are controlled by individual colors. And each time a round starts, the system picks one randomly controlled point from blue and one randomly controlled point from red, and it faces those against each other. Mm-hmm. So basically what happens is each team starts with your control base or your base in Hydro, and then you start with 2 control points. Mm-hmm. And just to reiterate, one of those will be picked randomly for each team. And then the doorways in between those 2 control points will open up depending on which control points. That's why when I complained last week, you walk out the door of your spawn and you look around and go, okay, which map am I on? Because the game doesn't know. It randomly picks them.
Yeah, and it kind of makes it more of a deathmatchy feel of a map because you don't have these set tactics where I'm going to place the sentry here because if one door's open, your sentry's not going to work there. If the other one's open, and so it's a lot of on your toes. It really keeps people on their toes and having to change tactics.
Yeah.
So let's just to give you an example to describe it. Let's say I'm on red and our first zone is the dish. I'm on the dish part of Hydro. Off to the left is one potential control point, which is the one with the large amount of standing water. Mm-hmm. Okay. And if that's the one
dam.
I'm fighting against, is that what it is?
It's got the big dam on one side.
Sure.
And the standing water with the control point in the center,
Yes.
kind of on a platform.
Yes. Okay. So all the pathways that open up via that side will open up and allow me to go to and from that. If it's the pathway in the middle, I'm going to the,
Wow, this is going to confuse people.
I know. Okay. I know the ones on the right are the ones that go to the blue control point that has the little bridge and the hut next to it that has the health and the ammo packs inside of it. Okay. Oh, and the one that's in the middle is the one that's the interior control point that has the multi levels with the generators that's inside the dam.
Yeah.
So there's, potentially, whatever the factorial of what's 4 factorial, 4 times 24 different potential matches in that area. No, that's not right.
16.
4 plus 3. Plus 2.
I have no clue.
9. Maybe there's 9. I don't know. Anyway, I have a math degree. You never know it. But anyway, the point is that depending on who has which point,
12.
That's how it plays out.
Yeah. I noticed that there's a lot of fights that go on outside of the control points areas, where a lot of CP maps, the main battles are on the point or around the point. And in Hydro, a lot of fights go on in the middle between 2 points, or somewhere in a long hallway or the cave or whatever. So it's very deathmatchy feeling.
That's one unique thing about this map, is that usually all the maps are, and one of our users actually pointed this out, is that they are a large open space around the capture point.
Right.
And then there'll be some tiny little areas where combat takes place, and then there'll be a big open space for the other control point. Mm-hmm. So it kind of differs, than some of the other maps where the texture or the amount of space you're dealing with are the same. In this map, every single one of those connectors is tighter than the individual spaces around the control points.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that sort of brings me into my first general point, is that there are different harassment techniques on Hydro than you would see on like Dust Bowl. Dust Bowl has, a certain set of, I want to harass, so I'm going to go to the spawn. I'm going to find the tunnels connecting people, and I'm going to harass those. I don't think that those tactics work as well on Hydro.
Right.
I think that because most of the combat takes place in those tiny spaces, it changes how you harass. I have noticed that in general, the highest numbers on this map come from snipers and from spies. And you might say that seems a little counterintuitive, but they're the only ones that can really get behind the lines and really mess with people who aren't expecting it.
Yeah, because people are coming from so many different directions. You don't really, it's not like a spy running across the bridge and 2-fort towards you.
Right.
You don't know where your team's coming from.
On the whole, I think the defense is similar to Dust Bowl. I mean, you're dealing with, you want to build some sentry emplacements. There's a few, good places to put them. We might talk a little bit about that in a minute, but just generally, you're going to need a couple of engineers to stop the cheap caps, and then you're going to build forces like you would on a standard Dust Bowl map, I believe.
And before we move on to general tactics and stuff, let's finish the mechanics of it. So,
okay.
You have basically you have 3 points apiece. One being that you're not going to see until you've captured the other 2 points of the other team.
Right.
Until you control all the points but one. And then that last one will open up, which is inside their base.
Right. And that is an attack defend situation where the attackers do not have a capture point.
Right.
So we've been playing a match. Red has beaten down blue, and they get to their final point, and Red does not have a cap point at that point in time. Their sole goal is to take down blue. Now, here's my question. I wasn't able to find an answer for this. What happens if blue wins? I've never had it happen, because taking that last control point is one of the easiest control points around.
Right. And that may be kind of how it works.
And so I don't really know what happens if, does blue score a point?
I think they do score a point, because if it's so easy to take, then it's actually a feat to not let the other team take it. So maybe it is a point.
Okay.
We'll have to play it more and find out.
Yeah, but I wasn't, well, no, I played a lot, but like I said, I couldn't find an answer to that particular question. Yeah. But each base is unique. And it's kind of interesting. And I'm going to actually talk a little bit later. I think there are some imbalances on this map, and I'll go into it in a minute.
Ooh.
One thing I've noticed, scouts can cap the points really, really quick in this game. The individual capture points do not have long capture times like in some of these games.
It must be almost like they're the last cap point.
Not like a granary well fast cap, but maybe like a little bit longer than a second stage Dust Bowl cap.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'd say in between second and maybe a first stage Dust Bowl cap. Now, I think it's about that long. So you really need to make sure that when you're building your defense, you want to take into account that if a couple of scouts get through, they'll cap the point really quick. Mm-hmm. I think that unlike Dust Bowl, where you tend to Uber near the control point, Hydro's Ubers take place in those little tiny areas in between the control points. So your Ubers are long expired by the time that you get to the actual control point itself.
Right, because the main battles don't happen on the control points. Really, you're trying to bust through the enemy lines, which is far from the point, kind of in between. So you probably want to Uber through that, then get to the point where there's
Sentries.
probably not much, but there will be sentries,
And I think that specifically calls for a 2-tiered Ubering process. You're going to want to have one medic hanging back, not getting attacked, while that first Uber's going, and then following, the anti-sentry unit in to Uber him for the second attack.
Yeah, that would make sense.
The spaces are so open, it's also very difficult to tell where the sentries are going to be. Specifically that dam one that you were talking about with the large open water, there's a couple of platforms in there. There could just be one sitting in the water behind the rock. It's really varied, and I have yet to see solid constant strategies. Now, a lot of that probably has to do with nobody likes to play Hydro. So, you don't see these tendencies where, engineers who play it a lot are building in particular spots. They move, even I move them around a lot. When I'm playing blue and I'm defending that inside the dam with the turbines, you end up, putting your sentry here, putting it there, putting it over there, trying to find out good places to put it.
Right. And that's one of the best maps for the offensive engineer, just because you can put a sentry up in so many places and everybody kind of feels lost.
Yes.
And so when a level 1 sentry starts tearing into them and they have no clue where it is, you can actually kill them with it, destroy the sentry, and go move it somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. And I'd actually like to, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
I was just going to say, you could put a sentry here or there or even in your underwear.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm glad that didn't come up in a briefcase skit eventually.
I'd like to take this moment to actually make a plea to people. Hydro is a good map. A lot of people do not like it, and I think it's because they don't really understand it. Shut up, Spencer.
Nice.
But it's actually a very, very good map. Now, it's a very bloody map. I have seen fights where literally you'll have, 5 or 6 people go down within a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was with one group, I was playing medic and we're all pushing forward. There's about 5 or 6 of us. We're pushing onto that walkway in the dam area. We're heading towards the control. And all of a sudden I was all alone and I looked around and nobody was there. And all these red guys were looking at me and they were not happy and they wanted to kill me. And so I ran.
They got pitchforks and torches.
But it's a lot of people do not like the map, and a lot of it is because of stalemates, lack of understanding of what the individual maps do, and kind of a general confusion about how you do things.
And a lot of running.
But way less running than like in Well or Granary.
I know, but it's kind of like this. It's like, okay, now I died and I'm gonna have to run out and be lost again, kind of feeling. Where it's like the only place I really know is where I respawn from and how to get out of there.
And that actually leads into a tip we got from Dag. The basic idea: one thing you need to do.
Don't say double jump.
Hydro.
Say double jump.
I'm not going to say it. His word is explore. This map will be dominated by those people who have taken the time to explore the little side passages, because the game is made or broken there. Because if you get too many people involved in a major front and they ignore those side passages and you get some people behind the main lines, you can really mess them up. Now, I actually don't think Hydro is a good fast respawn map. I think a good 15-second respawn is good, because since the spawn points are so close to the cap points, if you've got an offensive push, I just can't imagine it being fun having everybody just pop right back up immediately.
Right.
But those little tunnels are, they're the fun part of this map. For instance, there's one area I don't know very well, and I just started poking around with it today, and those are the air vents that connect the turbine room with the bridge and shack cap point.
Yeah, and even those aren't open all the time.
Right. But there's some little air vents there that you can use to get into that hallway that connects the two areas, and it's a lot of fun getting in there, and that's how I got in and did my little medic bonesaw thing. that I was talking about earlier.
So when you have little miniature battles going on here and there and not near the points, would you say that spies rule the roost?
I would say that spies rule the roost.
You might even type it out.
I might put it on a list. I think this is a prime spy map because there is so much combat going on, because the distance between the cap points is not that far, because getting behind the lines and into a nook or cranny is so easy that you can easily make your cloaked trip from your side to their side and then turn around. We were playing today. I was playing as a medic. I had 40 points. And someone had 140 points.
Wow.
And it was a spy. Dark One, I think is his name. Anyway, he was completely dominating. And I mean, I'm sure it's because he was a good spy, but I also think there are certain mechanics in Hydro that make playing a spy particularly easy. So,
other than trying to squeeze by a really congested area where there's bullets always in the air, that's always kind of hard to sneak by because obviously you're going to get hit.
But there's always at least two paths.
Right.
There's always at least two paths. So if you know one area's got combat, you can. Now, a lot of times they'll have little tiny hallways. So you got to pay attention to who's coming at you and make sure you don't run into them and give yourself away.
Yeah.
But there are ways to get behind people. And I think it's important. I think that demos are very important for this map. I don't think there should ever be a time where there is not one demo with stickies on the cap point. Your spawn's right next to the cap point. It's not hard to put them there. Demos are really, really important in this map. And also there are several large areas where those grenades are very important for keeping some suppressing fire. To keep people from just charging forward and being ballsy, you need to keep them in their places.
Yeah. The dish seems like an awesome place for a demo to be putting stickies in there.
I think that the dish is one of the most easily defended spots in this game.
Yeah.
I think that getting to the dish requires traveling down a path in a large area where snipers are heavy.
Yeah, I found that a really good place for a sentry, and really the only place on Hydro that I know is a good place for a sentry, is on the dish area. It's on a second floor. It's still outdoors. There's a big aluminum board kind of propped up against the side. So, behind that platform is another entrance for the other team to come through a cave and to enter into the dish area. If you put a sentry on that platform, it gets people entering into that area through the cave, and it gets people that are approaching the point on the dish. It's a great spot. I rack up a lot of points putting one single sentry there, and the sentry lasts a long time. Yeah. It's hard to kill.
Dish area, I like rocket jumping on top of the actual cap point and standing up there and defending from there.
On the roof or something?
Yeah, on top of the little.
And it seems like people don't notice you as much. You'd think they would because you're right there in the middle, but I think you get
I've
kind of.
never seen anybody do that.
I think your eyes tend to get drawn down on that map.
Really it's like what they say in Portal, right? They had to find ways to get people to look up.
Yeah.
And I'm putting a chaos on top of the control point. That's how I do it.
Now I've seen people put sentries on the two little bridges that go that are on top of the dish because you can't build on the point. You can't build any devices. So I've seen people put sentries on those bridges and they get taken out within
seems like they would. Yeah,
that does not seem like a winning proposition.
No, because usually what happens is someone will Uber and then cross the bridge.
Yeah,
and stand on that point, and they'll take out anything that's around. Well, what they can't take out is that little sentry that I was talking about on the second floor. They can't take that out with an Uber.
Now,
I mean,
I don't know if this is the same place as you're talking about, but when you come out of the respawn and you're defending the dish,
right?
If you go to the left, there's a little stairwell up onto a kind
platform.
of a little platform with a siding that's blocking from the incoming area.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's where I like to put one.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Because there's ammo that spawns there too.
Yep,
so you can get the
ammo. Yeah.
And people come around that grate and they're just toast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I support that.
Pretty much the only thing you're defending that sentry with is spies. I mean, so just
make friends with a pyro.
Wrench everyone in the head, that comes over there. So yeah, or make friends with a pyro.
Now I'm going to move on to my opinion piece.
Okay.
I actually think that this map is weighted in red's favor. Playing blue, I know, as I always do. And the bad thing is, I went to practice on red today, and I got auto balance to the other side. I was like, crap.
I've got that built in on our server.
Yep.
It just moves you to blue whenever
on blue.
possible.
Yeah, I don't complain. But anyway, I think that there are a couple of very interesting things about this map that provide a bonus to the side that starts on red. For instance, I think that red has better sniper positions. Red has those platforms that are over the spawn in the dish area. And those are really easy. You can see almost every single entrance into the area from there.
Okay, so this is just my ignorance, I guess, on the map, but I thought the 4 cap points that are getting randomly, I thought they were randomly blue or red. Like, so you didn't really have a starting.
Blue always starts with the same 2. Red always starts with the same 2.
I did not know that.
Red starts with the dam and the dish. And blue starts with the generator,
warehouse.
The generator room, and I guess the warehouse. Sure. Is that what our...
Or is it the observatory?
I don't know. But regardless... we're probably calling the dish the observatory the dish. But anyway, point being that I think red has better sniper points. I do not think that the generator room or the bridge with the shack have good sniper decks. And when you do find a sniper position in there, I don't think that it sees both entrances as easily as the red counterparts. Specifically over the dam, there is a big sniper deck that can see almost every single blue entrance point
into that area.
Yeah. And I don't think it's, you will very rarely, there would be fewer blue snipers than red snipers in the game. Additionally, I think that defending the red points is easier with engineers. The ways that people come into the red areas usually have areas underneath them where you can build sentries. And they will shoot through the stairs as people are coming down them.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas the blue areas do not have that. They don't have these little hidden, engineer type areas.
Yeah. Little sentry traps.
I think that approaching, let's talk about the map between the dam and the generator room has that little S-shaped valley, where a lot of fighting, there's the upper ledge, the middle ramps, and the lower bottom of the little valley there.
Okay.
The exits from those areas cannot be as easily watched and handled by the blue side as they can by the red side. I think red just has it better. Now that's just total opinion. Maybe it's the fact that I played blue and, you always feel everybody hates hydro and I was feeling oppressed, but I think that there are some definite, bonuses to being on the red team. I'd be interested in seeing the game statistics on hydro. Okay, I think I've killed the discussion.
Well, there's no Spencer here to counter your
click
things.
No, see, I hopefully our listeners don't have the same issue I'm having, but I just hear you saying blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, and I have I can kind of visualize some of the places, but it's just it's hard to get in your head where each place is.
Well, typical red locations are, like I said, you're going to start off with the dish and the dam. So when I think of red, that's what I think of. Are those two
dish
spots.
and the dam.
And when I think of the blue, I think of the bridge with the shack, which I guess is the warehouse.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think of the generator room.
Yeah.
Which the generator room is very frustrating for a lot of people. When we played today, people were getting upset because we were, like I said, sudden death wasn't on. So people weren't winning cat points, and we were getting the generator room chosen over and over again as our random starting location. We're like, oh, it's this one again. Or pardon me, last night when everybody was whining and complaining and gnashing of teeth.
That's blue?
Yes.
Okay. Because to me, that seems like when you have the dam against the generator room, it seems like the generator room has a definite advantage.
How?
Because you've got this enclosed point that sentries are always guarding, and all the fighting's happening outside that room.
But that one little platform over the cap point on the dam, when that particular level's open, okay? That one little place, the people have to do so much to get there and kill the sentry, okay? When you're going for the generator room cap point, the guns are, the Ubers are going to be taking place closer to the control point on the generator room. Whereas your Ubers are going to be taking place.
If the Ubers get there.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Most of the fighting usually happens in that S area.
Yeah.
And usually you're not going to get an Uber there. And they're so close. But I just think the other point, the dam side has, you're fighting from down, right? Because you got people coming from up on the right side, which is great for snipers, soldiers up there just laying it down, spies coming in, sneaking behind everything. And your point is just sitting out there in the middle, in the open, and things can come around from every angle.
I just feel like, and maybe it's just from my experiences today, but I feel like that point is way easier to defend.
I guess I always play red, so
Yeah.
I'm used to playing.
Maybe
from
we
that
just
side.
maybe we just feel oppressed by the map.
And I always feel like it's hard to get into the room, and when we finally do, there's like two sentries tearing us up, and we can't cap it.
See, I feel like it's very difficult for me to get into that dam area. We've got 3 entrances. You have the little tiny cave that comes down into the water on the left. And it's a little tiny one. And all that takes is one pyro, and that entrance is shut down.
Yeah,
Okay?
but I think a lot of people don't even realize that cave's
the
there.
next one's the bottom of the little S-shaped canyon.
Yeah.
And that is just a demo death zone. And then you've got the top of that canyon, which that top layer is so closely watched by snipers. All you got to do is walk out and you're sniped.
Well, unless you have a sniper up there. I mean, that's the
But that's
beauty
just
about
it.
this map is what you're saying is the issues.
But
you have it
snipers
reversed.
never live up there. I have never seen
They
a blue
should.
sniper. I know, but they don't.
should.
I've never seen a blue sniper that stayed alive up there. I see red snipers staying alive for a very long time in their little sniper bay, taking care of anything that comes over that hill. One part of this map that I have always enjoyed is when you've got the dish versus the generator room. And you have that middle canyon that has the hole that if you fall down into it, you die.
Yep.
And there's only one way to get from point to point, and it's through that double-sided little cave.
Yeah, it splits into 2. Yeah.
And I've got to say, that's one of
one's
but it's one of my favorite. That fight over that middle cave is so much fun.
Oh yeah, and it can go stalemate easily there. The battles can last for a long time.
Yeah, but isn't that when the tunnels are open too? Do they go between those? Is that where which ones are the tunnels open for?
Which tunnels?
The shafts, the air vents.
The air vents are open for generator room versus bridge and shack.
Against what?
The bridge and shack, the warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's when the air vents are open.
Okay.
And the sewers are open for that one too, right?
Oh yeah, the sewers.
Yeah.
What's sewers?
Well, there's
With the L shaft.
they're above ground sewers, but they're basically there's an elbow there. Sorry to use the word again, but there's an elbow there, just tailor made for sentry and dispensers and stuff like that.
Oh no! You're thinking
tunnel.
You're thinking of warehouse versus dam.
Damn, you're right.
Yep.
Jeez.
But there is an elbow there.
what's up?
I got
There is an
got
elbow.
The elbow.
There
term
is.
this
There's
episode.
that little tiny cave with the health and the I know.
Is there a Valve map that does
I
not
grok
have
you, Eric.
an elbow?
I feel you. We're like connected by our pineal glands.
There's on the dish versus warehouse. I love as you're coming up the point to the right from the dish. There's a perfect place for a sentry, and every time they come around, they get blown away by it. But There's a back door that people just don't use.
That dish versus warehouse section with that big bend of the road. I love being a demo and getting up there and just throwing grenades over the hill. It just makes me so happy. It's just, and that's just it. There are a few like seminal locations on these maps that people have fun playing, but they're so confused by the general layout of how it works that, they don't play it and don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah. And it's hard to do a podcast and do a strategy on this map because it's like playing 12 different maps.
Right.
And I'm going to say, let's do 12 podcasts on this. Let's start, the next one we'll do warehouse versus dam.
Now,
so send us all your tips and we'll be playing this in rotation for the next 12 weeks.
How about just Hydro versus Spencer?
Now, the final cap points on each side. You remember how I talked about how I thought the map was subtly twisted in Red's favor?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that the bases are subtly twisted in Red's favor as well. I think that the red base is harder to capture than the blue base. Because the blue base, you just come down those ramps and it's a big open space and it's a bunch of death and all a bunch of people have to do is run around and they'll cap the point.
Yeah.
Red, you actually have to go down, go through a tunnel, go around the cap point, come up on the other side, and then walk onto the cap point.
Oh, but there's so many more entrances than that.
Really?
There's so many holes and grates that you can crawl in and fall out of. And there's one I love going. It's on the far right as you're coming into the garage, I guess you'd call it, with all the little things raised and stuff. Yeah. And you go in the right side raised one, and to the right you can come in behind where they're setting stuff up and do some damage.
I've never found that. I need to take Doug's advice and explore.
Explore.
Yeah. We should have a hey, maybe we could have a night where all we do is we turn off all the weapons and we can just explore Hydro together.
Turn off the weapons?
Yes. Like all we'll do is, I don't know, but I think Spencer should work. I mean, not Spencer. I think Brent should work on it just because he doesn't have enough to do.
Yeah.
I've got it already.
You've got it in the bag?
I got it in the bag. We'll just raise everybody's health by like so much that it doesn't matter if they get hit.
Hey, that's a good point.
And then make them melee only.
Or we could cover the ground with med packs. So all you got to do is walk around and you can collect health. It'd be like Pac-Man.
Wonka.
So, next week?
Granary.
Yay.
Because it's
you
the
mean
only...
well?
No, we already did well.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Without the train.
Without the trains.
Less train, more grain.
The water.
That's terrible.
You like that?
No.
Oh.
It's the only similar thing they have is their control points in a linear map.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's the same.
This is a
That's
cool
like
idea.
saying Mach.
Let's
Mach
talk about
4
it
is
next
the same
week.
as 2 Fort.
Well, it is kind of.
Kinda, yeah. But
I'd say if you were going to say what map is like 2 Fort, I would say Mach 4.
and it is like it, but you don't use the same strategies. You can't say, I'm going to cover the bridge.
When you talking about the middle bridge?
or the upper grate. Like, are you going to put a sentry up there on the upper grate on Mach 4? And people would be like, what are you talking about?
Great.
Okay, on to listener contributions.
Alrighty. PB and Flash, he has made this really cool Flash animation. He posted this on our forums. We'll have a link to it. And
you realize you're doing something a little bit evil here, right?
What did I do?
Well, he's not quite finished with it yet.
Oh, is he not?
So we're hoping that he'll be done with it by the time we release this podcast in 3 days.
Okay.
So he just has a little more at the end. So basically you've lit a fuse under him and he must complete
It's a
it.
ticking time bomb.
Yes.
We record this on Sunday, put it out on Wednesday, so he has a few days. Anyway, since I've already started talking about it, it's for a song called The Device Have Been Modified. Is that correct English?
I don't think
At
really.
least the device has been modified.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason we have instead of has. Anyway, it's a really cool song to like a breakbeat kind of thing, remixed what's her name's voice, the robot chick.
GLaDOS.
And he's done this flash animation, which is kind of well, I would say kind of a high-tech portal-ish way of doing it's kind of like a karaoke video, really. And it's a slick way of putting the words up on the screen. I'm making it sound really horrible, but go watch it. Anyway, what's next? We have someone sent us. Someone's gonna have to look up this real quick in their email, but we got sent a TF2 haiku, which I thought was pretty humorous.
I have not read that.
You have not?
No.
Okay.
You should insert it right here.
Hey Wes, we'll have to sit here and talk real quick while Brent over there looks up in the email.
But we should insert it in the Brent should handle it.
Oh, you found it?
Crits. Rockets glow. NGs fly. Body parts fly through the air.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
I feel.
He's got another one too.
One more.
Oh, okay.
Fire sets ablaze my sentry gun. Ubered pyros are a bitch.
Wow, I'm all teared up. That was beautiful.
Wow, I feel.
Who was that sent by?
Hoopy Fruit 42.
Cool.
I feel so serene.
Paranoid android.
I really feel like we need to take those and we need to do them in the robot voice and have them at the end of the show.
That was good stuff. So funny. We of course love when someone just randomly sends us an email and it's just got like something kooky on it. Obviously, because we always read the weird emails that we get, and we get a lot of emails. So just send in some weird stuff, a song, a poem, whatever.
Yeah.
Weird stuff is good.
Or send in drawings or weird little like visual things, and they may show up on our video episodes.
Because we do have a contest going on right now for images for a calendar. And
yeah,
I really haven't heard any. I haven't seen the thread in forever. I don't know. If
people have said I'm working on stuff, but then we haven't seen anything from it. So we really want to do a TF2 calendar. We think that would be super duper cool.
Yeah.
But we need your art because we're not artists. Well, yeah. Not that way.
We're more video and audio artists.
Artists.
And we do have some cool prizes to give away.
That's terrible, Brent.
Prizes such as the Razer ProClick Mobile.
Machinists.
Is Eric talking?
I am talking about the Razer ProClick Mobile.
Razer ProClick Mobile. You can get it now.
And we have cool buttons. And someone asked me what a button was, and I told them a pin that you attach to your clothing. It's a little plastic thing with a picture on it.
Or your backpack.
And they're like, oh.
Or your backpack.
Yeah, or your backpack, or your jeans, or your hat, or your skin.
I've got one on my jacket.
I have one in my eyeball.
Ow!
Yeah, it kind of hurts, but I get over it.
I have one in my click.
I didn't know guys had clicks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey.
Click.
Hey-o.
Victory.
So we also had I hear you won something this week, Eric.
I totally did win something, and I'm happy about this. Mija Win, who
Maja.
Oh, is it Maja?
It is Maja Win.
Is it Maja? So Mija Win, he he put out a contest a while back. It was to win a WoW game card, and he's done another one now, and it was to win a WoW calendar. And it's a trivia question, and apparently I won.
Did you Google it?
No, actually, this is something I already knew. And right now, I can't even think of what the question was. Do you remember what it was, Brent?
I have no clue.
Oh man!
Well, we can find out.
Yeah.
Why don't we just, through the magic of television, diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo.
I have no clue.
Now we can look it up right now.
We're not going to.
Even though the magic happened, I still don't know what it is.
Well, it'll give us something to talk about next podcast.
I won and Black Shades won, and we both got 2000 a calendar. It's a 2008 calendar, World of Warcraft, and that excites me because I had a really cool Chewbacca calendar 2007 that I got at Dragon Con, and it's not 2007 anymore. And I had a really cool pinup girl one it's not 2007 anymore, so now I'm all sad.
Well, but you realize the calendar he's giving away is a 2007 calendar.
It's a 2008 one.
No, it's 2007. He's just giving away for the art.
Are you serious?
No, but
I think it's 2008.
It's humorous.
Now these are daily calendars. Are these the ones where you pull off the little piece of paper?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
cool. Okay.
I have not seen that.
Well, even cooler.
Okay.
Wes found the question, and it is, in the Warcraft lore, which orc founded Durotar?
I know that one.
That's easy.
That's Thrall.
Thrall.
Yes, Thrall.
Is that really the question?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's right
Okay.
here. I got it in front of me.
God.
Diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo. God, you guys are just buzzkills. They're giving me evil looks for my doodaloos.
Anyway, that's that. So that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
And thanks, Mijuwen, for throwing all these World of Warcraft contests. They're totally unexpected but exciting.
And, I'd like to give a thanks out as well as we're closing down the show here. We normally tell you to go to tf2wiki.net to update our Control Point podcast page. And we think you should do that. But we also want to give them some thanks because we do get information from their page a lot of times. And they are a great resource that you should look at.
I actually went to TF2 Wiki to see if anybody had the answer about what happens on that final point. And so people need to go and add material. That's what a wiki's for. If you know something about TF2, go and put it into this, mutual database of information so that, we can partake about it. If anybody knows the answer to that question, it should have been there. And
especially, if you've heard something here on the show that you didn't know about, go and put it in there. You don't have to give everyone credit. This is the source.
We want to put correct information in there too. So if they get it from the podcast,
okay. All right. Let me correct myself. If you know that we've given you correct information about something, feel free to go in and update it. And
So
dig us.
Yes.
Dig. Click the dig button.
Because I noticed those haven't been going up much. So it'll be like one every 2 weeks now.
I know. We need more digs.
Yeah, make sure you dig us. Take that survey.
iTunes. Yes.
iTunes reviews are lovely and delicious.
Yes, and you might stumble upon something else that you could add us to.
Yes.
Yeah, and
stumble upon.
If you have not joined the community, go ahead. We're 700 strong now. Join it up. You will see everyone online and see that they're playing a lovely game. You can join in and have fun. Join the little chat room there and talk to people's. Also, the forums are insane.
Off the hizhook.
I can't keep up.
I can't either.
It is hard to keep up. There are, I would say there's as many posts going on as there are on Steam powered forums. The amount of cool stuff that people link to, discussion, it's a very exciting place to be.
Or you can give us a call at 256
513
4772.
I hate you guys. Click.
You are now at the end of another episode of Control Point,
Victory.
Every one of you deserves a medal!
a podcast brought to you by the Dead Workers Party. See the show notes and leave comments for this episode at controlpoint.deadworkers.com or leave us a voicemail at area code 256-513-4772.
Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, Control Point. This is Lumpy LaRue again from the forums, and I was calling to give the spy tip. A way to use using your disguise thing for your own team is to trick your opponents into thinking you have something that you really don't have. Let's say you've got everything like heavies and pyros and engineers, and you play, and then medics, of course, and you play a scout. Then that scout goes one way, you go invisible, and then go behind the enemy's team. The spy, if you do that in front of a spy, the spy will think, oh, there are scouts over there, so he'll play a scout. And then they go back there, they see, hey, there's a scout, and we don't have a scout. Kill him. They kill him. Okay, this was Lumpy LaRue from the forums. Okay, bye.
Hello, and welcome to the Enrichment Center. Hello, and welcome to the Enrichment Center. Hello, your specimen has been processed. Hello, your specimen has been processed. Hello. Your specimen has been processed. Hello, and we are now ready to begin the test proper. The device has been modified. The device has been modified. I don't hate you. Well, you found me. Congratulations. Was it worth it? The only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart. This isn't brave. It's murder. What did I ever do to you? You don't even care, do you? Please proceed into Android hell. Android hell. Weighted storage cube destroyed. Weighted storage cube destroyed. Weighted storage cube destroyed. Thank you for participating in this Aperture Science computer-aided enrichment activity. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Are you still there?